Good morning, everyone. For teleSUR, I'm Cody Weddle in Caracas, Venezuela. U.S. warplanes continue multiple strikes against Islamic State targets. Britain has also begun launching airstrikes over Iraqi territory. The White House has revealed that strict rules of engagement intended to prevent civilian casualties have been relaxed in the current offensive. That has increased worries of civilian deaths. New estimates suggest that the U.S. air war on Iraq has already cost up to $930 million. In a further sign of a protracted campaign, a new U.S. warship is heading to the Persian Gulf to support the airstrikes. And in Australia, Prime Minister Tony Abbott announced Wednesday that his country will soon join the U.S. offensive in Iraq. Abbott says that Australian aircraft will start supporting the U.S. airstrikes as early as Wednesday. Australia has sent 10 aircraft and some 600 personnel to the region in preparation for joining the coalition. And now we go to Brazil, where Latin America's largest country will soon decide who will be its next president for the next 4 years. The latest poll released late Tuesday shows that incumbent Dilma Rousseff would win against her market-friendly rival Marina Silva. It shows Rousseff expected to win any second-round runoff by 8 percentage points. A week ago, surveys from the same company had both candidates in a virtual tie. Brazilian financial markets fell on news that Rousseff is set to be re-elected. Investors hoped Silva would put an end to Rousseff's expansive social investment policies that led to huge reductions in poverty. Late on Tuesday, the Regional Conference of Latin American Progressives came to an end in Ecuador. The closing of the conference was marked by a huge public rally. Demonstrators commemorated the defeat of a coup d'etat attempt in Ecuador 4 years ago and were showing support for progressive governments in the region. In Bolivia, with just 11 days until the country's presidential election, a new poll shows a stunning lead for incumbent president and candidate Evo Morales. Morales earned 59% support in the poll. That's a whopping 40 points ahead of his nearest rival, Samuel Doria Medina. Morales is the first Bolivian leader from Bolivia's indigenous majority.
This process makes history, not only in Bolivia, but also in the whole world. I continue to be surprised, brothers and sisters, of how we're advancing and how we project ourselves to the world. They used to tell us that those from the countryside were only good for voting, nothing more. Today we have shown how the country people not only can vote, but can also govern.
Thousands of students who have been on strike for nearly a week organized a mega march Tuesday to reject new education plans. For more on this story out of Mexico, we go to our correspondent there, Clayton Kahn.
An estimated 40,000 students from Mexico's Public National Polytechnic Institute, or IPN, took to the streets of Mexico City days after they initiated a strike, rejecting a new education plan for the university.
For me and my classmates, lesson plans can be modified, and in fact they are getting rid of certain subjects and areas, or they are reducing the length of classes.
For most of these students and their families, the plan reduces the quality of public education, turning toward a more private model.
You cannot negotiate one's rights. Rights need to be fulfilled, and the state is obligated to give quality education. That is what counts. They forget that they have a constitutional right.
Students from other public universities join in solidarity. They fear similar institutional changes will occur in their schools.
The movement of the Polytechnic students is becoming more recognized, and it is surprising, but also exciting. And what is happening here is happening as well in the UNAM, with class plans that are limited, class plans that are becoming more dignified.
Aside from cancellation of the plan, the students are calling for the resignation of the director, greater democratization of the IPN, and transparency as to what private companies are involved in the institution.
Students say they don't just reject changes to the education plan, but rather reject what they call the further technification of higher education and the threat of further privatization of public institutions. Clayton Khan, teleSUR, Mexico City.
And thanks to Clayton. In the United States, doctors have confirmed that a man traveling from West Africa previously thought to be healthy had actually contracted Ebola. The case was registered in Dallas, Texas. The man infected was traveling from Liberia, one of the countries most affected by the deadly virus. Even though 4 U.S. health workers were infected in previous months, this is the first time a civilian has been diagnosed with the virus. It's also the first time the infected patient was not diagnosed until back in the United States. The Ukrainian government issued a new plan Tuesday to increase the military budget fivefold. It will double the number of troops in the Ukrainian army. The announcement comes as a fragile ceasefire with rebel forces is holding and peace talks are underway. But there are fears that the arms boost could come as a military rather than a civilian solution. We end today with a look at the Red Bull Rampage mountain biking competition in the United States. It's held in the state of Utah, where the extreme course includes a daunting 70-foot canyon gap and has riders make their way down 1,000 feet of vertical cliffs. 20 riders from 11 different countries took part. This year's winner came from Spain. More on those stories and others at our website, telesurtv.net/English. For teleSUR English, I'm Cody Wood. Have a great day.